Oh! You know, my major criticism at this point would be that the game is incredibly easy to the point where, like, it really just feels like you're more along the lines of a narrative ride. You know what I mean? Like, even though there is interactive gameplay and the like in the game, it just seems to me like it's meant to be pretty damned easy. Compared to Red Dead Redemption 1 that had some pretty challenging stuff, this game just seems like very, very watered down in regards to difficulty at the sake of, okay, now you get a ton more narrative. You know what I mean? At least as long as the narrative is gripping, it doesn't really matter to me how the gameplay goes. But for some people, it's the opposite. I'll be honest. People, for example, who are heavily into something such as, let's say, for example, a game that's very gameplay heavy. You know, I've challenged myself to play the game on the hardest difficulty run and to, you know, make it so that it's the most challenging situation possible. Then probably Red Dead Redemption 2 is not your game.
You know, people who like Dark Souls, you're probably not going to like Red Dead Redemption 2.
There's literally no focus really on gameplay. Gameplay is kind of secondary to all the story developments that are happening in the game. So, it all depends. It depends on the kind of person that you are. You know what I mean? The only real update that I have for all of you guys is subs goal. As you guys, if you take a look at the top of the screen here, you'll see I've set up the sub goal for the month. Yes, I've set up the sub goal, and it is 525 subscriptions for Tier 1, and there will be a Tier 2, all right? So allow me to explain these subscription goals. If we hit 525 subs anytime during the month of November, I will be doing a holiday marathon event around Christmas. It's probably not going to be on Christmas Day, but near Christmas, maybe the week of Christmas, okay? What's it going to be? Well, it's going to be similar to last year, but a little bit different. Basically, people will be nominating and voting on games for me to play in a marathon setting. Now, it could be holiday-themed games, and quite frankly, I would like it if there were a few holiday-themed video games that I could squeeze in there to play during the event. However, I did a holiday-themed gaming marathon last year, and honestly, it was kind of tough to find good games to play. Like, just being honest, there aren't a lot of great Christmas games out there. You know what I mean? Like, last year, I played Home Alone, and that was awesome. You know, Home Alone actually was one of the better games that I played for the marathon. I played a Metal Gear style game, top-down retro game with Santa. Okay. I played the game, which I can't remember the name of it. It's like Santa's Workshop, and you're an elf mopping up blood because Santa went nuts and killed people in the workshop or something. You know, some zany stuff. It was fun, but I'll be honest with you guys. I don't necessarily know if those are... if there's enough holiday-themed games for me to do this again. So rather than limiting it to only holiday-themed games, I'd like to say basically any game that's readily available and isn't expensive is open season. So, you know, if you guys want to see me play Street Fighter, if you want to see me play a survival horror game, if you want to see me do, you know, silly stuff it really doesn't matter if I mess around in a game or whatever, I'd be considering doing that. However,
during that event, I would be dressed up in a holiday sweater, okay, or two, and I would be drinking. So beer, eggnog, and the like, just like a drunk side fill. This is what we did last year, right? And it returned, and people really liked it. The event was a big success. People really enjoyed it. And I want to kind of do the same kind of deal this year, okay? So, if we hit 525 subscriptions total on Twitch this month, I'll be doing the Drunk Side Phil holiday special again, okay?
But it'll be a little different because we'll be able to basically have open season on whatever game you want to see me play rather than just based on holiday-themed stuff. Okay? So.
If that's not incentive to subscribe, I don't know what is.
Now, we hit 550 subscriptions this month at any point. I'll be doing a special holiday edition of DSP Tries It. I will find a fun holiday-themed item, whether it's food, whether it's something else, I don't know. And I'll be doing a special episode of DSP Tries It to film and release more than likely during that stream, that special holiday stream, or on Christmas Day. We'll see. Because I'm thinking either on or just before Christmas, I kind of want to do a podcast where basically it's kind of a year-end review, year-in-review event where I kind of tell you guys how everything that went this year, the ups and downs, of everything, and, my plans for the future, and all kinds of stuff. I did this last year, and it ended up being very successful. People really enjoyed that kind of podcast-style thing that I did last year. Shout out to GL, who has resubbed for the 6th month in a row. That earns him his golden crown in the chat. Congrats, GL, and thank you very much for that. Mopachi21 is a troll who did a 50-bit cheer and basically calling me a liar about the Halloween event.
Because he's a dick.
But what could you expect? Thanks for the money. I don't know why people cheer, sub, or tip just to try to insult me. By the way, the guy is completely wrong anyway.
I'll entertain it. I might as well. I'll entertain it just to read it.
He says, you said that maybe Cat wouldn't be here for the full Halloween stream, but then the script flips and you use it to your advantage. You're a liar. Okay. Wrong. What I said was, Cat does not like games that make her squeamish. For example, slasher movies. Bloody slasher movies. She does not like it all. She likes psychological horror. So, Silent Hill to some extent, that would be cool and scary to her. But she doesn't enjoy games that have excessive gore. Like, for example, she's not a fan of the Saw movies. She's not a fan of the Hostel movies. She doesn't like that kind of stuff. So, purposely, we had talked about this previously. And she had said, if you're gonna play a game like Saw 2, I probably don't want to be around because that might creep me out, might make her feel gross or whatever. And I said, that's perfectly fine. If that's not your thing, you don't have to be here for every single game that I play. Plus, that day was her day off from work, obviously, for her to be here all day. And she said she'll come in and out, during certain games that she likes or doesn't like. But, that's not what ended up happening. Okay, she ended after 2 games, that was it. And I'm not going to get into it again. People who were here saw what happened, so we're not going to get into it again and again and again. But, yeah, so that's what really happened.
All right, Rahawa, thank you for the cheer. I'm not going to get into that. Like I said, I'm, at this point, I'm the kind of guy, to not dwell on negative stuff that happens.
I'm just not. I don't want to dwell on it anymore. It's November 2nd now. I'm moving on. I don't even want to keep dwelling on stuff. So let's keep going. Thanks for the cheer, though. AES cheered, and he says, "Yeah, some asshole spoiled Red Dead for me. I don't know why people enjoy doing stuff like that. I know because they're assholes. There have been Red Dead spoilers all over the internet for the past week, and it's incredibly hard to find a place where you cannot be spoiled, especially if you're someone who follows social media. I saw spoilers on fucking Twitter, which is stupid. And I'm not talking about people like trying to message me and spoil. I'm talking about just idiots posting spoilers. I've seen things all over. It's all over the place. It's incredibly hard to stay away from spoilers. It is. So, what I would say is this. If you 100% want to stay away from spoilers, I recommend that once the stream starts, you don't read the stream chat. I'm just saying. It's just a rule of thumb, especially now the game's been out for a week. Many people are reaching the end of the game who've been playing it nonstop. So you're going to have assholes coming out and spoiling the living shit out of the game. There's nothing you can do about that. It's just natural. You know, but that's life. 'Tis life. So, obviously, apologies. There's nothing you can really do. This, honestly, is why I feel that when I streamed and used MIRC as the chat client, that it was, honestly, when it comes to things like spoilers for high-profile games, it was a better experience. Because when I was on MIRC, what would happen is, we wouldn't just let people just talk without being voiced. What that meant is that when people first came into the chat, they couldn't talk. You'd have to wait a certain amount of time. The mods would basically take a look at your stream chat name or whatever, and they would give you a voice and then see what your first couple messages were. And they had the ability to, like, you know, basically have it under control. On Twitch, anyone could come in at any time, just say whatever they want. So they could come in and spoil a game, come in and insult people. There's nothing you could do about it. That's one of the shortcomings of Twitch chat. You know, anyone could just do whatever they want. And then you have to, basically you moderate it after the fact. It's very hard to be proactive here on Twitch. Okay?